Long ago, when humans were helpless, God created witches to guide them. But now that humans are advanced and prosperous, they hunt all the witches and kill them. A young human boy, Adonis, is traveling with his caretaker, Khloe, who is a witch. He isn't thrilled that they are trying to run away and live like fugitives. Their survival matters, so they have to. Suddenly, a subjugation force finds them. Adonis wants to fight them, but Khloe will not allow him since his magic isn't mature yet. But he thinks she is just being kind and doesn't want him to kill his own kind. This makes him sad, as he keeps thinking he will fail to protect her. They're so caught up in their emotions that they failed to notice some synchronization has been locked on them. King Goitha of the Radia Empire addressed to his people that they were once dependent on witches. He believes it is unfair because it made them look like weaklings who can only be at their mercy. Now that they have achieved advancement and all, this means humans can walk their own paths with their own power. Just in time, Khloe and Adonis are teleported right onto this stage. Adonis is taken hostage, and Khloe warns to let him go or she'll kill everybody. Her magic is not working. This stage has some magic cancellation device activated. Goitha humiliates Khloe and is about to kill Adonis for being annoying. Khloe begs to let him live, and in exchange, he can do whatever he wants with her. Cue for Adonis to remember Khloe picking him up from the streets and the many great times they spent together. Goitha shoots Khloe before the firing squad fills her body with more bullets. Khloe is then decapitated, and her head shone like the winning prize. 10 years later, in some prisoner asylum, Doroca remains a positive and cheerful girl and tries to quell whatever unhappiness among her fellow inmates. But when guards come looking for a certain girl, Doroca pretends to be that girl and gets taken to see the tranny prison warden. He is going to use her body. While he is absorbed in taking a selfie, she bites his finger and escapes with his phone. It can unlock all the doors to the cell. With all the prisoners escaping and causing mayhem, Doroca stumbles into a room with a monster that is about to be released. That monster is Adonis. He kills all the guards before they can react. He shoots and frees her from her chains. With the asylum in chaos, General Yamato, who is the head of the National Security Bureau, tasks Eekhout to quell the uprising. We see this sadistic guy kill all the prisoners trying to escape, as well as the tranny and his failed guards. Adonis has escaped outside. He tests his magic by expanding a bullet and slamming it into a building. He materializes a giant golem and begins the massacre. As narrated, during his 10 years of imprisonment, he has been doing a lot of academic studies and endless mental simulations in his mind. As he also understands magic structure, he had a magic quill to help formulate it. This is the only way non-witches can use magic, and with Khloe's help, he is trained to use it. Now, Adonis reasons that if killing Khloe was righteous, it is the same for killing everyone here living happily. The massacre may make Adonis happy, but he isn't satisfied. Yamato calls forth the military airstrike on Adonis. This means the poor citizens have no time to escape, as many get caught in the crossfire and die. Meanwhile, far away in some peaceful palace, Goitha is dying of a disease. He has no regrets and believes this is the path mankind needs to take to be advanced. He also credits his wife, the queen, for her help. Doroca feels guilty that she wasn't able to stop Adonis. She pleads with him to stop the killing of innocents, but he is not convinced. All humans will die. Even if Doroca claims she knows Khloe and him, he doesn't believe she is a witch and just a bait till the next reinforcement arrives. If she is a witch, why didn't she save Khloe? Why did the witch hunt survivors let her die? Doroca claims Khloe can be revived, but they need memories of Adonis for that. That is why she snuck into the city to save him for this. Adonis doesn't buy this story and will kill all those against him. In that case, she prepares herself to be killed by him. That looks the same as Khloe on her death day. Now he can't do it. He changes his mind. Can Khloe be revived? All he needs to do is come with Doroca. However, Eekhout's snipe takes out Doroca. Flashback shows humans invaded Doroca's village and killed all the witches. They can't use their magic because of this magic nullifying device called Dam. Mia sacrificed herself so Doroca could run to safety. Just when Adonis had some hope, Doroca gets killed. He isn't so happy. Using his magic, he returns all the bullets the soldiers fire at him, and an extra big one towards Ikout. Yuki, who is the vice general of the National Security Bureau and Yamato's sister, is tasked with activating DAM. However, a group of scientists led by director Theta Samanstas stop her. She cannot allow her to activate it. She calls Yamato to tell him why that is not allowed because it seems there are side effects to using DAM. It kills human cells. This is the disease that many soldiers suffered during the witch hunt 10 years ago, and also the same disease that Goethe is suffering. Nobody knows because this is swept under the carpet. Because witches somehow restore nature, killing them means the ozone layer that protects them from harmful rays is gone. Yuki will not listen since the nation is at stake. She starts to activate it, and Adonis's happy murder spree comes to an end. Although Theta manages to stop her, both are now suffering from the effects. Yamato is worried over what happened, but Theta tells him not to waste this chance. He orders his men to go in for the kill as a soldier decapitates Adonis. Everybody rejoices at this victory. Goethe appears in public to address his people about this. They let Adonis live when they should have killed him because they wanted to study how a human could become a witch apprentice and use magic. He laments this catastrophe, but reminds them that their nation has come this far. We are the pinnacle of humanity and will not submit to any evil. High school student Eri laments her boyfriend is one of the many killed during the attack. Actually, she ditched him to save her own skin. In fact, she is in love with Adonis and has pictures of him on her phone. She is spooked when Oz, who is the National Intelligence Bureau chef, knows about this, but allows her to keep it if she stays quiet. After she is gone, he makes the call to get her arrested for treason. Then he calls his subordinate, Charmy, about the report. She has concluded this decapitated body of Adonis is a dummy. Adonis still lives. He finds himself struggling as the witches try to calm him down. Only the big boss, Ophelia, soothes his rage. Flashback shows that the soldier who supposedly killed him was actually a witch in disguise, Anna. During the commotion, she used her replication magic to duplicate his body and then had Ophelia use her magic to teleport him away. Adonis is given a little tour around this mini kingdom of witches. Ophelia tells him Khloe is a very well-known witch. She is wise as she is powerful, but one day she had to leave. Adonis calls out to that and knows Khloe was ousted for teaching a human boy magic. The witches did plead for her to abandon the boy and return, but she apologized and left. Ophelia narrates about God creating witches to guide mankind, and thus it is taboo for them to teach them magic. Adonis is happy to be reunited with his quill, as it was created by Khloe solely for him. Further revelation that this kingdom of witches is unreachable by humans because it is located on the moon. There's also graves of all the witches who have died. Then there is the Tree of Life, which gives birth to witches like fruits. As witches are only female, this is the only way they are born, as they cannot reproduce. This is the only tree left, as the rest have been burned down by humans. Adonis's magic and memories will be the crucial factor in resurrecting Khloe, since he can materialize anything. They will begin the ritual when he is ready. Soon, Anna approaches Adonis and blames him for Doroca's death. He is not interested. She starts that he can revive his beloved Khloe and wonders why they risk their lives to save him. Adonis tells her, back it is you witches who want to use Khloe. Doroca revealed a few things to him before she died. He notices that if witches can survive the moon without protective suits, there is no need for them to build a tightly enclosed facility on the moon. This place is in fact a cage for humans. The witches are planning to kidnap human slaves and children here to teach them magic using the quill and send them off to war. Because witches are on the verge of extinction and they need more manpower. Because Khloe is the only one who can make the quill, the reason they want her resurrected. Anna pleads with him to revive Khloe so that Doroca's death won't be in vain. While Adonis doesn't mind doing that, as he will do what Khloe desires, if Khloe doesn't agree to their plan, the witches will also become his enemies. On the ceremony to bring Khloe back to life, Adonis puts memories of her in the fruit and sees flashbacks of her. However, Khloe was in pain and couldn't live in this world alone. Doroca gets resurrected. Adonis resurrected Doroca so as not to be owed a debt since she somewhat saved his life. Also, he didn't want Khloe revived because he doesn't want her to go through the same suffering again. There is no place in this world for the woman he loves. Ophelia and the witches turn against Adonis as they accuse him of being ungrateful. They saved, sheltered, and healed him, and this is what they get? However, Adonis is not scared. He claims he is going to destroy humans by himself and then bombs the Tree of Life. Suddenly, Yamato and his soldiers teleport in. Adonis has invited them here. The next round of massacre begins. Some witches get killed off, and while the soldiers die like ants, it seems HQ is teleporting waves of soldiers in batches, and they're going to win this via numbers. Adonis and Yamato have their showdown. A dying Theta is made to explain the survival of witches on the moon. It seems dead witch corpses have been enveloped all over one of their satellites to allow witches to teleport to the moon. They used human technology against them. With their camouflage magic, it was impossible for humans to detect there. Yamato laments Yuki's fate, as she is now in comatose. He remembers all the times they've spent together and that she wasn't cut out to be an officer. He hopes when all this is over, they should go somewhere and live quietly. Yamato goes all out and increases his power output to the maximum to kill the human traitor. Many get caught in this wide area slash. Doroca dies again, but not this time. Anna uses her duplicate magic to save her and instead takes her place. Ophelia is dead as well as the Tree of Life. Adonis gives Yamato powerful attacks and cuts of his arm. Yamato is about to finish Adonis off. Back at the Rydia Empire, they try to get video back on, as they have no idea what happened on the battlefield. Yamato is on the monitor, who says all the witches the moon are dead, but his eyes shows he is actually Adonis. During the fight, Yamato suddenly cannot move. This is because Doroca has cast her love spell on him and his men to become immobile. Adonis is glad and wants her to kill the humans, but she wants the endless slaughter to end. Adonis is appalled because these people killed her brethren. Yamato thinks so too, as he beats her up as she blames witches for killing many. Doroca also notes humans too. They already have science and don't need witches. Why bother to kill them? Yamato tries to fight against her magic, but when he thinks back all the peaceful times, he is about to give it to him, but Adonis decapitates him. He finds Doroca's magic useful and wants her help to kill all humans. Meanwhile, Gathi is losing his mind as he dances happily, believing all the witches, even on the moon, will be dead. But we will soon learn his being senile could be because he is under the spell of his wife, who is a witch. Since she doesn't need him anymore, she tells him to jump off and die. She reveals her true self, Dorothea Graith, who is the witch of the unknown. There is something else she wants, and it is not this world. Because her magic only works on men and not women, she needs them to be culled. She warns his subordinate, Shirosagi, about bringing a dummy body back if he knows what is good for him. She too has a magic quill and is planning on bringing some lover of hers back. Against Doroca's wishes, Adonis massacres the rest of the soldiers. Then he cuts off Yamato's face and uses it as a mask to report back to HQ of their victory. Theta can tell something is wrong. That is not Yamato. Ophelia realizes Adonis's plan because now he can escape back to this place anytime he wants. He sacrificed the witches for that. Soon Adonis and Doroca get teleported while Ophelia apologizes for her failure to redeem the witch's dignity. Theta and the soldiers are waiting for Yamato's teleportation. She orders to fire on Adonis the moment they transfer in. They are all shooting at nothing. Because they realize it too late, Adonis has changed the location and can't even be traced. How can this witch apprentice beat their technology? Adonis was using Yamato's voice to change the location as they were being teleported. The duo are now stranded in some desert. He finds Doroca's sulking behavior unacceptable, even more so lamenting the loss of her brethren. She, on the other hand, can't believe whom Adonis is. Before meeting him, she was so eager to meet him and see what the disciple of Khloe was like. She thought he would become the bridge between humans and witches, the hope of everybody. Now he seeks revenge, and this chain of violence won't end. This won't change Adonis's mind, because the world that took Khloe's life must be destroyed. Adonis shows no remorse for the loss of lives of the witches because they became the best meat shields for them. And if Doroca gets mad, He calls her out for trying to sound righteous, because she sat there and did nothing while they died. Even if Adonis gets his revenge, his pain won't go away. He claims he has nothing to lose. Doroca hugs him and hopes he won't fall into that abyss no matter how cruel the world is. Because if he really continues with this revenge, his heart will crumble and he will turn into those people who killed Khloe. Adonis believes she doesn't know him. He views his life with Khloe as irreplaceable. Not exacting revenge means traces of her existence will disappear. Adonis then passes out due to loss of blood. But a group of desert motorcycle punks led by Punch arrive. Adonis wakes up in Punch's hut. He shows him around that this is a scrap settlement where outcasts of the Empire have been expelled and abandoned by science come to live. Adonis fears Doroca is going to be raped as he hears her scream while sounds of men enjoying themselves. It turns out they're teaching her how to ride a bike. Punch then announces a party. The men love to frolic around Doroca. She lies that Adonis isn't her boyfriend, but her traveling partner. Suddenly, all dropped unconsciousness. Adonis just put a little sleeping spell into it. She fears he is going to kill them, but he assures them they are stateless inhabitants and are not even treated as humans. Thus, no need to kill them. While both have lost somebody important, Adonis cannot sit and laugh around others like her. Doroca claims that as a witch, she needs to blend in so others don't find out she is a witch. Adonis doesn't need her and will depart himself. He tells her not to become someone like him. Punch then talks to Doroca about being dumped. Apparently Punch knows who Adonis is. He met him and Khloe while they were traveling in these parts of the world, and it is hinted Khloe saved his life. Punch advises that this revenge isn't easy to be determined. It is very individual. He chose revenge despite knowing it was a path of no return. What about her? Since she failed to protect her fellow witches, the least she could do was protect Adonis. And so Doroca rides her bike and hopes to travel with Adonis. In the Radia Empire, the coronation of Dorothea as the new monarch of Radia begins. Dorothea's love magic causes many men and women to fall under her spell and becomes Radia's idol. Far away in China, a few Chinese are watching this coronation as they note Dorothea is far more dangerous than they thought. She used her own technology to wipe out her clan, and the irony is that a witch is now ruling humans. Amidst the celebration, it seems that countless people have been culled behind the scenes. Doroca tries to strike a deal with Adonis to at least not kill good people like Punch, but he is not changing his mind. Adonis asks Doroca about her love magic that makes men fall in love with her and control them, so why didn't she use it on him when they first met, which would be the most effective way, but tried to convince him instead. Doroca answers that he wouldn't have liked their first meeting to go like that. They arrive in Sandland Town, which is in ruins. They go through a police station and they hear someone singing. They find a man in a cell. Adonis asks him if there is a metropolis nearby. He tells them about the city-state of Mamuda. Doroca says they can't leave him there, but Adonis tells her the cell is unlocked and the person in the bed is the man's deceased wife. Their next destination is Mamuda. Adonis and Doroca arrive in Mamuda, who looks to be abandoned. When Doroca stumbles into a naked lady on the streets, Adonis realizes this is not human but a sex doll. Adonis shoots her down. Adonis enters a building to investigate and doesn't want Doroca to come. However, she tries to follow him and believes he won't abandon her. Too bad many moments she remembers, he might even kill her. So eventually she is busted, and he thinks she is insulting him. She apologizes and thinks it would be better if they stuck together. They enter the room to see several sex bots making out with a dead corpse. However, it seems the sex bots are somewhat sentient, as they claim they didn't want this life and question why they are doing this. Adonis shoots them and puts them out of their misery. A pair of espionage kunoichi easily kills off the border guards. They are under orders by their Emperor Suzure to capture anything that might help keep Radia in check, and Adonis is one of them. Thinking they could do the job and get rewarded by living in the capital, the duo starts their mission. However, they stumble into Shirosagi, who then kills them both. Adonis recognizes the manacles lying around. Don't these look familiar to you from the asylum, Doroca? Adonis theorizes it wasn't easy for this place to import so many sophisticated sex dolls, and hence offered their own women in exchange for more sex dolls. The sad story of a country selling off their wives and daughters in exchange for more sex robots, and with no women to reproduce, it led to this country's downfall as the men drowned in their pleasure and rot away. Adonis sets up the radio to make some EMP and, with his magic, puts out all the sex bots from their misery. As Doroca erects tombstones and prays for them, Adonis doesn't think this is effective. This is just for the living to cope with deaths. If they want to honor the dead, give humans a taste of their resentment. Doroca still disagrees, so he thinks she should stay here since she enjoys sniveling. After all, her fellow witches died because of him, so why travel with him? This is her last chance to reconsider. She remains steadfast to travel with him because she doesn't want to blame and argue anymore. After all, the witches too weren't innocent and tried to use him. That's like betrayal. As they return to their bikes, Shirosagi is waiting. Charmy is monitoring the group, and Adonis sees how he messed up as Redia has found him. Shirosagi is messing with the heads of 5 and 6. Doroca tells him to stop that, and Shirosagi gets closer to her. He notices something about her. Adonis begins to fight him, but Shirosagi is faster than Adonis. Adonis fires bullets at him, and Shirosagi dodges them. Adonis sees that Shirosagi's reaction speed must mean he is a cyborg. Doroca uses her love magic to stop Shirosagi, but it has no effect on him. He is surprised that Doroca is using a love spell and says it is no wonder she looks just like Dorothea. Both Doroca and Adonis wonder what he meant about Redia's queen. They wonder how Shirosagi is able to move, and he shows them the heart symbol on his chest. Shirosagi uses his cyborg abilities to release Hummingbird at them. Doroca still wants to fight even without magic. She doesn't know if seeking revenge is wrong or not, but she stands by Adonis to the very end. Adonis gives Doroca a sword and himself an armor to fight the Hummingbird. Doroca almost gets Shirosagi but hesitates to kill him, thus allowing Shirosagi to punch both Doroca and Adonis hard. Shirosagi manages to restrain Adonis and grabs Doroca in the hair. She thanks Adonis for walking by her side. If she could have one wish, she would wish they could have seen more sights together, as her eyes are brutally crushed by Shirosagi. Doroca screams in agony, and Adonis experiences a déjà vu. Doroca falls as her eyes are ripped out and she has lost her sight. Shirosagi messes with her eyes and then destroys them. This rages Adonis and attacks him. Adonis and Doroca hide themselves. Adonis burns on her face to stop the bleeding. Doroca imagines that both of them lived an ordinary life and wonders why things turned out this way. Once he is ready, Adonis returns to fight. He wants Shirosagi to bring out Dorothea. He will blind her too. The fight rages on, and as blind Doroca fumbles her way trying to find Adonis, to her dismay, it looks like he got defeated. Shirosagi then beats her up and doesn't appreciate how she has the same face and voice as Dorothea. After all, he feels this world doesn't need two same witches. Doroca continues to beg to leave Adonis alone. She talks about all the cruelty she saw and this revenge thingy. She is now unsure if humans are to be forgiven. After all they did to her, revenge is starting to feel right for her. Shirosagi beats her up and doesn't care what she says. It is then that Adonis makes a request of Doroca. Use her spell and turn him into one of her slaves. Do it or they both die. Doroca steals her resolve and does so. He easily dispatches Shirosagi. Adonis has a peek into Doroca's memories. She was ostracized by her fellow witches, including Ophelia herself, just because she had this vulgar spell that controls men. Many don't want to be associated with her because of that and told her to keep it a secret. Doroca, being weak, was bullied into submission and lived her life in fear of that. She brainwashed herself to always be a good witch. Adonis now understands why she was always trying to be so pure. He assures her he won't fall for a dumbass like her. With this newly cast spell on him, all his injuries are healed. He is not restrained by gravity, and his magic is unlimited. Now he can beat Shirosagi. That guy is now scared and tries to run, but gets cut down in an instant. The tables are turned, as it is Shirosagi's turn for a beatdown. He tears apart his limbs, and then uses the ultimate ice magic from Khloe that he swore never to use unless it is to protect someone. Hell freezes over as the entire place becomes an icy death. Even the entire desert is now frozen. A dying Shirosagi notes Adonis and Doroca look like a young Dorothea and a certain someone. If they see the queen, tell her that he failed to get incarnation, but he did his best. He believes the ensemble verse is somewhere out there, and perhaps there was a world where they could be together. Shirosagi breaks into pieces and dies. Meanwhile, we see Dorothea taking a morning jog all alone. No guards or escorts because everybody loves her. When she returns to her palace, she wonders if there have been responses from the other nations yet. If they fail to respond, she'll declare war on them. Doroca apologizes to Adonis for redirecting his love for Khloe to her. He doesn't blame her, since he requested it. He admits Shirosagi was very strong and couldn't beat him in a fair fight. While he criticizes Doroca as clumsy, easily frightened, and a hindrance, her kindness is genuine, like Khloe. He hopes she could share it with him. He holds her hand as they make their way across the slippery ice. They need to help each other. She too now views revenge isn't wrong.